What's up? This is Craig Smith. Today I'm going to discuss the concern with solar about a potential 20-year agreement. So when people buy solar, oftentimes they go with a loan on the solar cost. So most cases they're choosing a 20-year plan. There are plans that start at 10 years, 12, 15, 18, all the way up to 20 years. And oftentimes I'll have people look at that 20-year agreement and say, wow, for 20 years, I'm going to be paying this. And I don't know if I want to make that type of commitment because 20 years is a long time. And geez, I'm just not sure. That makes me feel a little bit worried about taking on that debt. And I understand this concern, but what they're not looking at is what's their agreement with their utility company. So whether it's, Southern California Edison or Nevada Energy, PG&E, whoever it is that you pay your utility, your power company every month, what's your agreement with them? And there is no agreement. The agreement is you're going to rent your power from them essentially. You're going to pay for whatever power you use every month at the rates that they charge you, which you have no control over. So even though you feel like you don't want to make a 20-year commitment to own your own power with solar, well, if you're not choosing that and you're choosing to stick with what you've been using, what you're using is the pay-as-you-go program. And just if you can for a second, ask yourself this: what have you paid for your power over the last 10 years? Do you know? Could you figure it out if I asked you to? Most people probably couldn't. They can probably try and do an estimate and figure out what their bills roughly run them, but most people don't know what they paid for their power in the last 10 years. And what would you say you'd pay for your power in the next 10 years, sticking with your utility company? That would be a tough one to figure out too. And after 10 years, after the last 10 years of your power, let's say you paid for the last 10 years, let's say you figured it out and you averaged $1,500 a year for the last 10 years. You paid $15,000 for that power, right? What do you have today for that power? Nothing. You spent $15,000 to use that power, and now you're starting all over again. Or had you bought a system 10 years ago, you'd have been $15,000 paid and still got the power that you bought from your power company anyways. So instead of looking at the 20-year agreement as some type of this outrageous commitment of debt that you don't know if you're willing to step into, well, if you don't do it, you're going to still pay your power company, right? I mean, do you have another way to not buy power in the next 10 years? So the question shouldn't really be, do I want to take this 20-year commitment with the solar loan? It should be, what is my commitment with my power company for the next 10, 15, 20 years? And compare that uncertain program to the certainty of owning your own power. So you can pay less to pay yourself to own your power than you're going to pay a utility company to rent their power. You always pay less to own your power than to rent your power. So why does it make sense to continue to rent it from your power company? So that's my take on the 20-year agreement and commitment and debt. It may sound like a big uphill battle for you, but you don't know what your agreement is with your utility company. And if you laid it down on paper with an accurate projected estimate of what you're going to pay year after year with the rate increases that your utility company gives you, I can assure you that owning would make way more sense to your bank account than renting. Talk to you guys later. Check out my Facebook page, Craig Smith Solar, and always feel free to message me or email me, call or text me. All my information is on my Facebook page if you ever have any questions about solar.